Interesting. Hi everyone, welcome to our next vlog for Through the Years of a Horse. What we're going to be talking about today is intention. When I was out studying the Salt River wild horses, I think that's probably the biggest lesson I took away from them, was watching how they all communicated and the different levels of success they had with communicating. And so I've pulled up some different examples that I'm going to kind of talk you through. I did release the full-length video earlier, and that was about 35 minutes of basically what one day was like watching them, and you could see all these different examples in the order they happened. And so now I want to break you down just to a couple of segments and explain what I took away from it and the different types of intention and communication that you see going on with those horses. So the first example that I wanted to show you and talk you through was what it looked like a majority of the time. And so you can see that there's little bits of movements, and every time a horse moves, there's a little bit of communication, and you can see some movements through here. And so even, as that younger light-colored horse comes up, you can see that bay mare communicating, kind of moving her ears around, establishing her space, and all those subtle movements that you can see. And you can see the different focuses between the groups here. So we have 3 different bands all in this very close area. And you can see how they have their intention focused on each other and kind of establishing their areas. But it's all very subtle. And that's what I noticed, is that the most successful communication that I saw between these horses was just a general posture and their ears, but it had a lot more about the energy behind their posture and what they were telling all the other horses with that. And it was only later on that you would see bigger movements, and those were only when the subtle movements did not work. So again, you can see the horses looking at each other here. You can see some of them looking over at me, and establishing themselves with me. But overall, it's a very peaceful scene, and it's just little movements and shifting as they move among each other, get into water, get into food, get next to their buddies. So it's really different than, when we think about body language. I think we tend to think about bigger movements, but it's really subtle, and it's much more about their presence than it is a really big movement. And again, you can just see that subtle shifting. One moves and they all kind of move and settle back down. In the corner there, you can see some ears pinned, establishing their place. You can see that horse there in the background is moving closer. And that horse is in the middle, is just changing her posture, pinning her ears a little bit, letting the other horses know that's her space. So here we obviously have a much bigger example as the white mare approaches, and she's pinning her ears, she's warning them, and she's getting after them. Now I really want you to see, so this is the stallion of the group coming up, and you can see his body posture all the way up to the point where he actually attacks them. But from about 30 feet away, he was already giving them all sorts of signals, letting them know that he was coming forward and he was going to move them off. And here I just wanted to show, here's just a couple bachelor stallions, and you can just see their bigger movements. They're playing around, they're learning more. And you can see they move a lot and they do a lot of things, but they really don't mean much by it. And I think that's really the essence when it comes to that intention. You can have smaller movements with higher intention. That means a lot more than a big movement with no intention behind it. So I think that's the biggest thing that I took away, is really making sure I knew the intent behind what I'm asking my horses, and make sure I'm presenting that and focusing on that when I'm asking them to do something, versus mindlessly using large movements and kind of shouting nothing at them is what that ends up being. So I hope you enjoyed all the video, and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and getting to enjoy your time at home. I'm certainly enjoying all the time I'm spending with Zala and my horses. So we'll work on building another one as usual. Any questions you have, comments, anything else that you'd like to see, just let me know. And I can't wait to put more material together for you. And we'll see you next time.